Peace be upon you, our dear viewers. Today we are going to delve into a story that shocked the entire Islamic world, a story that no one had expected. It is the extraordinary event when there was an attempt to transfer the body of our beloved Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, from his grave. What followed was a miracle that not only left people in awe, but also raised questions that are still discussed to this day. Let us discover together what happened and what divine intervention took place when this attempt was made. It all began with a controversial decision made in Saudi Arabia, the proposal to relocate the grave of Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, to an unknown location. The suggestion was so shocking that it could have sparked immense turmoil throughout the Muslim world. The proposal was put forward by a Saudi engineer whose intention was to clear the way for the expansion of the Prophet's mosque in Medina. This expansion, he argued, would allow for more worshippers to be accommodated, and this reasoning was presented as a logical step in the modernization of the sacred site. The suggestion, however, was not officially endorsed or made part of any government-approved plan. But the very fact that such an idea was brought to the table caused deep unrest among many, as it threatened the sanctity of the Prophet's final resting place, which lies under the Green Dome in Medina, inside the Noble Rauda, a site visited by millions of pilgrims each year. The grave of Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, is considered the most sacred and revered location in the Islamic world, and any change to it would have been an unimaginable and dangerous step. According to reports, the study surrounding the idea did not come from official government bodies. Rather, it was an unofficial proposal circulated among officials at the Prophet's mosque. But as it made its way through the channels of power, there were people who questioned the logic and wisdom behind such a move. Many pointed out that relocating the grave would not only be a violation of the sanctity of the Prophet's resting place, but would also deeply upset Muslims worldwide. One of the most prominent voices raised in opposition was engineer Abdul Haq, a researcher in the history of Medina and Islamic architecture. He deemed the proposal illogical and unwise. However, despite the widespread objections, another engineer, Abdullah Al-Mazid, was insistent on moving forward with the project. Al-Mazid was working with major construction firms to carry out the task of expanding the mosque, which was said to be necessary to accommodate the growing number of pilgrims. But just before the project was about to begin, something extraordinary happened. Abdullah Al-Mazid, who had been deeply invested in the project, began experiencing disturbing dreams. In these dreams, he would see a tall man dressed in black who would repeat the same phrase over and over again. Protect the grave of the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him. Do not touch the grave. These dreams became so vivid and persistent that they troubled him greatly. He dismissed them as mere nightmares, likely caused by his stress over the project, but they would continue to haunt him. One day, as he was preparing to finalize the contracts to begin the project, he received an urgent phone call from his wife, informing him that their daughter had fallen gravely ill. He rushed home, only to find that his daughter had passed away before they could get her to the hospital. At that moment, Abdullah remembered the haunting dreams, the warnings to leave the Prophet's grave undisturbed. He realized, in his heart, that this tragedy was no coincidence. Devastated by the loss of his daughter, he immediately went back to the company and told them to halt the project. In tears, he burned the contracts and announced that he could not proceed with the plans to disturb the Prophet's grave. He publicly declared, "The grave of the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, is more precious than anything else. It must not be touched." He understood, in that moment of grief, that this was a message from Allah, one that he could not ignore. This decision, however, was not the first attempt to disturb the resting place of the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him. Throughout history, there have been several attempts to harm or desecrate his grave. The first known attempt occurred in the 5th century Hijri during the Fatimid Caliphate. At that time, the ruler of Egypt, who believed that all benefits should flow into his treasury, sent an army to Medina to seize control. The people of Medina, alarmed by this threat, prayed to Allah for protection. That night, Allah sent a fierce wind that scattered the invading forces and prevented them from reaching the Prophet's grave. The second attempt occurred during the reign of the Abbasid Caliph, when another force tried to dig a tunnel from a house next to the Prophet's mosque. As the workers approached the grave, they saw strange lights and heard voices warning them not to disturb the sanctity of the Prophet's resting place. They were terrified and stopped their work immediately, leaving without completing their mission. A third attempt took place in the year 557 Hijri during the reign of Sultan Nur ad-Din. Sultan Nur ad-Din had a dream in which the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, pointed at something with his finger, a warning that prompted the Sultan to take immediate action. The Sultan, upon waking, gathered his ministers and ordered them to investigate. They soon discovered a tunnel leading to the Prophet's grave, and it was revealed that a group of Christians had hired men to steal the Prophet's body. The conspirators were arrested, and Sultan Nur ad-Din ordered their execution. The grave was once again protected by divine intervention, and the Sultan gave thanks to Allah for safeguarding the Prophet's resting place. These events throughout history show that Allah, in His infinite wisdom, has always protected the grave of Prophet Muhammad. Peace be upon him. Whether through winds, lights, or dreams, Allah's protection has remained unwavering. The grave of the Prophet, peace be upon him, continues to be a beacon of faith, guiding millions of Muslims in their journey of worship and remembrance. This story reminds us of the divine wisdom in protecting the sanctity of sacred places. All praise is due to Allah, Lord of the worlds, and peace and blessings be upon His final messenger, Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him. May we continue to honor the Prophet's legacy and remain steadfast in our faith, preserving the integrity of the places he holds dear. O Allah, I ask you for your mercy, which encompasses all things. I seek refuge in you from the trials and tribulations of this world and the hereafter. O Allah, guide me to the straight path, the path of those whom you have favored, not of those who have incurred your wrath, nor of those who have gone astray. O Allah, grant me knowledge that benefits, a heart full of understanding and actions that please you. O Allah, grant me the ability to seek your forgiveness and to be among the righteous. O Allah, protect me from the evil of my own soul, from the whispers of shaitan, and from the harm of the world around me. O protector of the weak, shelter me under your wings and safeguard my family, my loved ones, and all those who are dear to me. O Allah, make me steadfast in my faith. Make my heart firm in your remembrance, and strengthen my will in the face of trials. Keep my heart pure, my mind focused, and my actions pleasing to you. Guide me to be a source of peace, love, and compassion to others. O Allah, bless me with patience during difficult times, with joy in moments of hardship, and with peace in times of distress. Bestow your mercy upon me and allow me to endure the challenges of this life with grace and resilience. O Allah, forgive me for my shortcomings, my sins, and my mistakes. Purify my heart and grant me the strength to seek your forgiveness whenever I err. O Allah, make my heart humble and sincere in your service, and do not allow me to be arrogant or boastful.